So, in this episode, myself and Isabella will be sitting down with our very first guest, Jaya Ong, Portfolio Manager for Cambooya. So, everyone, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, or whenever you're listening to this podcast. Welcome to the special spotlight episode of the new UTS Finance Society podcast, Finance Unplugged. I'm your host, Alicia. Next to me is my amazing co-host, Isabella. Well, we'll be providing you informative, entertaining, bite-sized financial information for you today. So, we have our very first special guest. She's a portfolio manager for Cambooya, even having her own Substack in TikTok called Ong the Money, where she talks about taking risks and optimism being the first capital investor. I did kind of stalk your Substack a little bit. So welcome, Jaya Ong.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure as a non-UTS student. Now I'm wishing I came here because this place is awesome. Thank you for having me.
We try. We try. Is it also, our building one got voted the worst looking building for 3 years in a row by Sydney Morning Herald? As a fun fact.
My director did show me that because he went to UTS and I was like, oh god, I hope I'm not doing the pod in this. But it does match the brown of my suit, so I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So one of the first segments we'll start off with today is our finance tip for the week. Isabella, what do we have for this week?
So this week we're going to be looking at the off-peak opal hack. So we all know that time is money. You probably remember this from your fun fundamental finance courses.
Yep.
But we can actually save 30% on every trip by tapping on outside of our peak windows in Sydney, which is 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning or 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the afternoon or late evening. So there is actually a concession card that most students will have, and this already gives us 50% off standard fees from a typical adult credit card. Typical adult opal card. So this allows you to basically just continually pile on a bunch of discounts when you are commuting from Sydney. So there are some things called transfer savings, which is when you switch between trains, buses, light rails, etc. within 60 minutes, you can actually receive a $1 transfer discount, which significantly lowers your multi-mode transits to campus. Additionally, weekends also have a cap where Saturdays and Sundays, if you just travel around Sydney for who knows what reason, you can basically explore the entire city in $9 or less for a flat fee. So make sure you always check your Opal card status, and if you are at uni and you're not currently using a concession card, please definitely get that checked out because you could be saving a lot of money and not paying double what you should be. And of course, as always, this information is only for educational purposes and does not constitute professional financial advice.
I love that at the end. That was so government-like. Authorised by the Australian Government of Canberra. But no, that's so cool. I should probably tap on with my Opal more, but I'm just lazy. I use my debit card half the time.
It's okay. They're going to make a change, I think, in October or something, where our credit cards will finally be linked to our concession Opals.
Well, do you know what? How about just make public transport free? There's so many of us who use it anyway. How much more money are you going to get from not having us tap on and tap off? I would like it because then I don't have to get fined as much. That's a story from other time. Yes. So we'll be moving on to our next segment on Miss Jaya Ong.
Yay!
So Jaya, I would love for you to talk a little bit about yourself. Just kind of what you're doing, what's going on right now.
Okay. So much.
Yeah.
I just got back from the US, so I'm looking forward to telling you guys all about that. We did a venture capital and growth equity trip, so we're on the East Coast, so East Coast, West Coast, so San Francisco and New York.
Oh, fun.
Had the most amazing time. Learned so much about the ecosystem. But a little bit about me. My name is Jaya. I am 25 years old and I'm a portfolio manager at Cambooya, which is a family office. It is Australia's oldest, one of Australia's oldest family offices, and it's been going since about the late 1980s. Yeah, before we were all born.
Yeah. That really shows our age. In a really young way, not the old way.
It really does. And Cambooya exists to provide services to a specific family, and my job as a portfolio manager and also as an investor, so I sit on both the private wealth side, so I manage clients, and then I also sit on the investing side, so I get to pick amazing investments, diligence them, take them to investment community, and then recommend them to clients. So it's a unique role in that usually you sit on either one side, which is private wealth, or investments, but I actually end up doing both,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
great.
which is amazing. And it's an incredible role, an incredible family, and yeah, I couldn't ask for a better start to my career so early.
Love that for you.
Yeah.
That's so
Thank
cool.
you.
All right, so I love that you talk about how the environment you've grown up in that sense of community and camaraderie, having
Yeah.
that opportunity to have both sides. So, and that kind of plays into our first question, which is, what's your origin story? Like, what's the path that's been laid out for you right now?
Oh my gosh, my origin story. I sound like a villain.
Oh,
What does this villain origin story mean?
There are positive origin stories.
Positive
Okay,
origin
true.
stories.
True. I did not come from a finance family at all. Some of my family are accountants, but in terms of my parents are medical, my grandparents on both sides are medical, and so I took a very different path to them.
Wow.
And I kind of knew that when I first started. And I remember telling them, I think I want to be in accounting or finance, and they were like, oh, okay, whatever you want to do. And then I was like, oh, great. Like, I feel like they're not going to pay my HECS, or they're not, like, I have to take on all this debt. And then so I worked really hard in my high school days, and I was like, there's something at UNSW and here too called like the co-op scholarship, or
Yes.
being on scholarship, and I worked super hard, and I did a whole bunch of extracurricular activities, and the extracurricular activities actually what got me into the co-op scholarship program. I got it at Macquarie and I got it at UNSW, and I picked UNSW in the end, and I did accounting and business management, and then I did a second major, not in finance but in HR.
Ooh.
Yes, so I took a different path.
Yeah.
And then I did the 3 internships. I did a 4th actually at a restructuring firm. And then I was like, oh God. And you get to your final year of uni, and I was like, oh, I don't like accounting. It's not for me. And I was like, okay, so everyone's basically done investment banking or a consulting internship. I didn't. And I was like, damn it, I'm basically screwed.
Yeah.
And I networked everywhere. Like I had an auditor as my as my mentor. I laugh now because I would never have been an auditor, but nothing wrong with auditors, is very important. And I had a ESG consultant. I had a banker, and I asked for a CEO of a finance firm, which I shot my shot, and they actually gave me one. Her name's Camilla Love, and she's incredible.
Okay.
And I owe a lot of my career and my family office journey to Camilla. And at the same time, I was kind of applying for investment banking at a very similar time. And the origin story of how I got to Cambooya was basically, Camilla called me and I said, I will work anywhere, I will do anything. And I did her program actually, and it was incredible. It's called Future Females in Finance. They connect high school students and uni students into placements. And so I worked at Perpetual, and I did a consulting project with them on ESG-based investing, and it was incredible. And we got to present to Rob Adams, the CEO at the time.
Okay.
And as a 20-year-old, it was like a huge moment, because people go their whole careers without ever presenting to a CEO. It was an incredible opportunity. So highly recommend that that your listeners check that out as a program. And it's free.
Oh.
It's free it's free. It's free. Big
yes.
Save on your Opal card, save on your internships. You don't have to pay, and it's a great course. And then basically after that I was like, look, I've had a bit of finance experience now. I'll work anywhere. I can do 3 days a week while I'm at uni, the other 2. And she was like, what about family office? And I was like, what is that? Like, what is asset management, private wealth, family office? And this was only a few years ago. Like, I didn't go through the finance, the musings of a finance student.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's definitely that kind of typical, stereotypical pathway if you're a finance student that you'll usually follow.
Yeah.
Which I feel like I didn't realize that epiphany until like 2 nights ago. Literally, I was falling asleep at night, and I'm like, there's a lot of people who have like really followed this path, and I'm like, I have definitely not been one of these people. I'm so weird.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of comforting to hear from someone who also didn't follow that kind of road, and like look at you now, like able to present in front of a CEO.
Yeah.
Do projects, ESG investments when like that was only just now starting to become a thing.
Yeah.
Like forefront.
Yeah.
Insane.
And when I was applying for Cambooya, when she was like, are you interested in family office? I got the job description. I was like, I meet none of these. The only thing I can do is work 3 days a week, and I have an accounting degree, and I'm curious. When you don't meet anything in the quant section, so you go to the qualitative section, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm curious, maybe technical knowledge, yeah, maybe. And it was like, and she was like, too bad, because I already sent in your resume and they want to meet you. And it was the most amazing interview. I met the CIO, the head of investments, and the CEO, and I was like, oh my God, I want to be here. And the head of investments at the time, her name was Catherine, she still is an incredible mentor to me. And she was like, we're going to take a chance on you, work really hard, prove it out this whole year, and then we might give you a return offer. And yeah, it was the best thing I could have done. I'm so happy I didn't take an investment banking job. Now that I'm looking back at some of my friends that did it. Yeah. And I'd probably be 3 or 4 years out of uni now, or 3 years. This will be my 3rd year. I'm so happy that a lot of them have left, or they were like, we just didn't like it. Yeah. But it's an incredible training ground either way. So if you want to be a banker, they've got incredible skills, but I just took I took the uncarved path, which is what I wrote about it on my Substack. But yeah. So if you want to read more, you can read that. It's free also.
I did.
It's also free.
I did actually stalk it a little bit, and I read a few. I really, honestly, when I mentioned in your intro, optimism being the first capital investor, read a little bit of that. It's actually it was very eye-opening. So I'm interested to read a lot more. Yeah. Obviously, to our listeners, please go read it. It's quite interesting to hear from your perspective, I think, as in finance, but also being as a woman in the office. Yeah. And also being in a really unique role. Yeah. So cool. And as well, I think in my opinion, when you're doing a double degree, which a lot of us here have doing doubles or diplomas and stuff. Yeah. I don't know if you guys feel it, but sometimes when I apply for a role, it's like, oh, do I actually fit this box?
Always apply.
Yeah.
Always apply. Because you never know. And you apply and then you reach out to someone in the firm and you just may have that connection with that person where they're like, actually, I want to back you even though you don't meet every criteria. So that's my tip. Always just go for it. And job applications are a full-time job. I literally scheduled job applications while I was at uni as a full-time thing. Because it takes so long and you have to remember where you are at each process and make sure each cover letter is the same. And I grew up in the era without ChatGPT and Claude, and so I had to write each one. But it was good because when it came to interviews, I could be I know my stuff and I know what's in my cover letter, I know what's in my resume. But I have tried the Claude or ChatGPT era of job apps, and it's interesting. Just as a test, I was kind of what's this like to write a resume with ChatGPT, and I was like, wow, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not too shabby.
I
don't know. What's our next question, Isabella?
Well, we kind of already answered it. But
yes, we have answered a few.
Have you always wanted to do business or finance, and did you grow up in a business-heavy family, or were you the odd one out? So let's just move on to, I guess.
Oh, I will actually say, I'll actually give another story about this topic in particular. When I was 10, actually I would have been 10, it would have been 10 or 11 years old. This is when I kind of knew. Maybe this is my villain story. When the canteen turned healthy in primary school.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It was outrageous. All the public schools kind of had this go healthy in the canteen, take out everything unhealthy. And I was so annoyed by that. Because I like to eat. and all my friends liked it too. So we used to wig school. We used to leave school during the day or during lunch. My mum would drop me off and I would go across to the corner store. I would buy candy and I would sell it at a profit. And I got suspended.
Oh, no!
I got suspended. I had to write an apology note because the kids would steal from their parents, and then they would buy the candy, and then I would take the cut. And this is during primary school, and I think I feel like a lot of that's not how I invest now, but I feel as though that was my story as to how I thought about business and things. And it just came so naturally that I was like, oh, maybe this is something I could do. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think a doctor or a nurse would do something like that. But
look, you never know.
You never know.
Instead of trading money, we just trade drugs.
Oh, yeah.
We just... Not to be crass, but we do. Look, we all gotta give someone Oxycontin or some IV fluids when you're feeling run down and low. Same, different. Who knows? Potato. That's all I've got to say. Another question. What's the average day for you at the office?
Oh, an average day in the office. So different. Because we have so many different clients. My youngest client is 3. My oldest is 88.
Whoa.
So you can picture the different requests that you get.
Yeah.
And across different groups, like I portfolio manage a foundation. I portfolio manage people that are your age and then above to 88. So the requests can be absolutely anything. Anything from I'm buying my first home to we're going to wind down a super fund, or we're going to invest in venture capital, right? Like, it's completely different. In general, though, I would say on the investing side, I spend a lot of my time in venture capital and growth equity, and we largely deploy, well, we deploy everywhere, actually, internationally, a lot here in Australia, and it's a fantastic, an incredible, like, meeting founders and venture capital managers globally. They're all so unique and so passionate about problems, and that's kind of how every day looks different. I could be working on something with private credit or private equity. I also cover some listed equities managers, so that's kind of on the investment side, and I'm doing increasingly more in impact, so both concessional and non-concessional returning impact investments. And then again, on the client side, we basically construct portfolios from, we understand people's risk tolerance, what's their risk and return profile. You probably got that from Finance 101.
Well, funnily enough, we actually did an episode of How Risky Are We? And
yes?
Yeah.
How risky are you?
well, I'm a moderate risk.
Yeah, well, the same apparently.
Yes,
you're the same.
we both ended up being the same, but Isabella had a much more riskier upbringings and past.
Okay.
But no, we've chilled out a little bit. Well, I feel like I've tried to be more riskier, and like we've gone opposites. We've balanced now into our 20s.
Okay, I mean, I rate this like UTS Finance Society, like risk and return, build a portfolio. Why not?
Yeah.
I back you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, call me.
I will. I'll give you my number.
We've got some money. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but yeah, totally different day to day. And I really think in family office, it's unique because it's like you don't really have anybody telling you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like you're in banking or private equity and it's you're working on this deal full stop and the deal ends and then, you have some management afterwards, but this is capital that's going to last 30, 50, 100 years. Like, that's the horizon we're talking about here. And it's generational wealth, genuinely. Like, this is generation 4 now, and we plan to keep this going forever. And that is what makes family office unique, is the time horizon and how we think about liquidity in general.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, as a woman in finance, what has your experience been navigating like gender dynamics in the industry particularly?
Very interesting question, because I mean my team is all guys. So yeah, that's it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No,
I mean
100%.
when I started, my boss Catherine, well, she is a woman, and our CEO Jenny is a woman too.
Oh, the CEO of your family office is a woman.
Yes, the CEO of the family office and the foundation, which is sort of attached, is a woman. Her name's Jenny. She's incredible, and she's an incredible mentor to me, and I really seek that out in her. She's amazing. You should definitely have her on the pod. I'm sure she would love to come. And for me, I think because there are so few women, particularly because at my age, I'm quite young, but I have a very senior position. And so when you kind of get there, everyone is a bit older in general. And I think when we find each other as younger people, or we actually latch on to one another. Like, we're like, oh, you're young, I'm young, we're both in finance, we both invest. Let's be friends.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. Like, I have friends in super funds and other family offices across different asset classes, and we all really look out for each other, and I love that, because I think if you're on social media or TikTok, sometimes I see videos where people go into finance and the older woman is kind of out to get them, and I was always really afraid of that. And my boss was like, I know she's like, you're Gen Z, you go on social media, I want to let you know, like, I'm not that kind of boss. And I'm like, okay, I love that. And she always supported me. It's so important. So important. And the guys in my team are very conscious that I communicate differently, or that sometimes I feel a certain way, or like I don't get what they're saying. And like, I have come through a journey where as my personality, I was very shy. Like, I would never do this a few years ago. And Catherine really helped me bring me out of my shell. And even my team now, like before, like even prepping for this, my chief investment officer was like, okay, let's practice some questions and like make you feel comfortable. And I was like, okay. And so I think you really need a supportive team. And I notice it less, but I'm very conscious of it, particularly in a room where I'm the only person very often. And I would love to have, that's why I have, my TikTok, my Substack, and why I'm doing this. It's because I want more people of diversity, whether it be university diversity, cultural diversity, more people that, people that come from Western Sydney, come from non-traditional backgrounds, immigrant families, like, I want them to be in finance. I want really good people in this industry. You need good people to manage money ethically and well to make a better world. And like, we move so much money around, and I've seen the work of philanthropy and the work we've done as a family office. And yeah, some of the companies you use every day were funded by us as a family office and so many other really like genuinely good people in finance. So yeah, that's what you need.
Yeah. No, it's so fair. And like, it's true about the clarity of, I think the more I have gone to like internship events and networking events, there is the criteria of the finance bro.
Yes.
The half zip and the, oh
yes.
God.
Yes.
And who, some of my friends are those people and I love them to death. But it is so true that it is so refreshing to see someone of a different cultural diversity from a different university or an area code.
Yeah.
And that representation is important, I think, as well.
So important.
Yeah. That's like, I went to an NAB internship night, and it was really nice to hear from, like, this, I think she was head of, like, the trade desk at one point, worked, as a trader and everything, do the GOC, kind of lost her job, but, like, hearing her experience from that, and then where she's got to now with NAB, like, it was just really inspiring to hear from that. And that representation is so important.
Oh, it matters. It matters so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, another question, which I'm really excited to ask. So I looked at your LinkedIn profile. Yes, we all do.
Okay.
Every business person or everyone on LinkedIn is a little bit of a stalker, I believe.
Oh my gosh. It's shocking. My LinkedIn is like taking the piss. I'm so recalcitrant that when like anything that's like moderately, I guess, conventional, like I always try and divert from. So my LinkedIn is probably terrible.
Oh no,
okay.
it was the best. I literally love your bio in describing that your ultimate company to be strong engines, disciplined drivers have the fuel to go the distance. Honestly, one of the best quotes I've ever heard of. Where did you get that? And two, do you take that mentality in your work life and everything else?
Yes. So about me is that I love cars. I drift, like I'm a drifter, I like to go drifting. I learnt how to drive manual in drift school, where we did donuts and we did, oh my gosh, it was like, I've done racing, and I was the president of the UNSW Car Society. It's where I met my partner, Matt. Yes, he loves cars. He's an aerospace engineer, but he works in finance now, so he's also, and he's another interesting one where he took a completely different path. But for me, I love a good analogy, and I love things where it's like, how do I make a really complex finance thing seem really simple? And for me, disciplined drivers, an engine to go a long way, like that is what we look for in a manager and a partner, because that's what a family office is. We chug along because we're supported by the fuel of our family members, we're supported by capital, we're supported by amazing partners, and I'm like, okay, like let's all get in this car and like drive, like we're here for the long road, really. And that's how I view my investment style. And I think in our team we all have different investment styles, and mine is very much collaborative, and I always have been. And it's very common to have these like finance bro mentality, and it's not always bros, but have that competitive nature. And I didn't get where I was today by being competitive and hacking other people down. I actually got here by being collaborative and curious and bringing other people up, because the more successful my peers were, it led me to be more successful, because they helped me with resumes, we helped each other with internships, where I was like, this internship does not suit me, but it may suit you, and I know someone here. And that person actually recently has sent me a deal, and like it's like this deal is going to go really well, right? So that kind of circular stuff, I always say you can't do a good deal with a dickhead. That's not on my LinkedIn, but like that's my
unofficial LinkedIn.
That's my unofficial LinkedIn. But I do say that around to my director, and we have a bit of a laugh about that, but it's so true. We would never do, values alignment is so important in a family office absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, being a car enthusiast, I have to ask them, what's your favourite car?
Oh my goodness, my favourite car is, I would love to own a Sylvia. It's an S15, so it's an old Japanese drift car. We own a whole bunch of really old, like if you saw that car, you'd be like, that's a piece of crap. But to me, like I only drive manual cars. They're super cheap, like just the feeling of driving and like putting in effort to have to go from first to second, it's like literally it's like my life story. Like I always took the harder road, the uncarved path, and manual is that. And when I'm sitting in traffic, I'm suffering.
Yeah.
But yeah, the feeling of driving a manual car and yeah, controlling your own destiny and drifting is so much fun. Safely.
I feel like, yeah, you'd be living out your F1 dreams.
I love
that.
F1.
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
I do. I've been to a few races and it's amazing. And I love that Drive to Survive exists now because we've had so many more women join the car society and the car world is very much like finance where representation matters. Me being the president led a whole bunch more women to join the car society, and then Drive to Survive came and my friends want to be involved in Formula One and it's amazing. So yeah.
Bella, what was be our next question?
So now that we've kind of spoken a bit more about you and in general we've talked about a bit like of your, I guess, value alignments, board culture and what you kind of want to see more of in the finance world, what's the best advice that you actually ever got from a mentor in general?
Ooh. The best advice I ever got, which I've said this on my TikTok actually, is if you don't ask, you will never get it. And I'm a big believer in that. And it's because if I didn't ask for things, whether that be the head of venture capital and growth for Cambooya, whether it be to lead on impact or even really simple things like, hey, can I just speak to the family member one-on-one so I can get experience or help them with buying their first home. All of these little things like lead to bigger things. And for me, I say this even, and it's so simple, but then when you try to practice it, you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't ask, maybe that's too much. And if you can actually execute it and you can see yourself doing it, do not worry what anybody else thinks about it. Whether it be applying for a job, like if I listened to the people that were saying do banking, I would not be sitting here and I wouldn't be making the investments I'm making. Like I don't even know where I would have been. But I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I had to sit across really, really cool people and invest with really like amazing people. And so if you don't ask, you don't get. I think apply for jobs even if you don't meet all the criteria. Also, I think always staying collaborative and true to who you are. And no matter what investment decision you make, whether it goes right or wrong, if you stuck to the process and you stuck to your own values and people in family office, because we're a capital allocator, they're nice to us, and they're nice to us simply because, and they may like us, but it's because of your title and your position. But I know that if I step out of this role, that like who your friends really are and are not. And so staying true to who you are, always being nice, even if it's a no. We always give quick no's. Do you want to invest in this? No, it doesn't fit our mandate, rather than a slow maybe. Because then it's stringing them on, it's wasting their time, and in finance people need to move really quick.
Yeah.
And I think that there is so much advice. Also, actually, the best advice that I got was from my mentor, and it was the person that you pick to spend the rest of your life with, or the friends that you choose that you want to spend the rest of your life with them, are so important. Because they uplift you. And like Matt is incredible, because when I feel like, oh, you know, I can't do something, he's like, no, yes you can. And you need like that supportive system. Even my friends in uni, one of my best friends, Anthony, he's still one of my very good friends. We did everything together. We did our first investments together in a shared trade account. Like it was so basic, but having someone who's more risky or less risky, and I was the more risky one, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And he's like, wait, like, what? Like, we need to allocate this money properly. And so practicing investing with someone while you're young. And if you really want to work in finance and you want to work in investing, you need some form of track record, which is what I tell my mentees. I've recently taken on a mentee because I was bolstered by like a mentor. I always had one, and I think there is a positive cycle of mentorship, and so I have one, Emily.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and I'm like, I want more mentees. Like, where are they? So, like, if anyone's looking for a mentee, like, I'm available.
Nice.
I'm an intense mentee, though. If anyone wants an intense mentee, a mentor, I will be one. But yeah, so much, like, you can take so much advice from people, and you'll always have so much information, but always staying true to who you are. And I think taking the uncarved path is something that I did, and just give it a go. Just try something a little different.
Yeah.
And chances are there's no one there. Like in the family office role, really, there probably was not a whole lot of people my age going for that, simply because they didn't know.
Yeah, it's really true. Honestly, that's a very true point. I think when you're starting out in uni, we have this idea in our head, or we're kind of not pushed, but like we are encouraged the common investment banking in kind of sense like that. Whereas I also didn't like realize there'd be such big things on like family offices or even equity research. Like I love the whole idea of just like researching about stocks and just giving advice.
Yeah.
And that actually being a job. Like that's probably the only big thing I really love about finance is the research aspect of things.
Yeah.
And understanding trends.
Yeah. And it's so important when you want to research, understand trends, to stay general.
Yeah.
So not in my graduation, but Matt's graduation, they were like, I think maybe it was Greg Combay, maybe don't quote me on that, but oh no, don't quote me, I am on a podcast. But like his advice was to stay general as possible. And I mean, I'm as general as they can be because I'm sector agnostic, style agnostic, asset class agnostic, like I see everything.
Yeah.
And to be a really good researcher, you have to have an open mind. And just because I think, because I cover venture capital and growth and it's my job to love it and be optimistic about it, it's not lost on me that if a distressed manager comes, that I have to be like, well, actually, maybe venture capital is too much. There's too much risk right now, but the opportunity is better over here in distressed. And that's what family office offers you because it's so broad and super interesting. So we have a lot of breadth of career. And even if you do banking, like it's good to like keep your generalist mind out and network widely. Yeah. Definitely, for sure.
No, and that actually really leads on great to the next question of, if you were in uni today, what would you focus on learning outside of the classroom?
Ooh, the best course I did was negotiation.
Negotiation?
I did a negotiation course for fun. I actually did it in uni, but it wasn't part of my degree.
Oh, okay.
And you get to do like fun units. I actually did capital gains tax as one of my fun units. I was one of 6 in the course. Oh my God. I actually don't think they do it anymore because nobody did it.
No one cares about capital gains on tax.
Okay. Actually, it's very topical right now, I have to say, because I cover, obviously, for family office members, we have we have investments that have capital growth, and it's my job to know accounting stuff and investment stuff. Obviously, I do my chartered accountant, so I have to know both. But it is very topical. Don't knock it.
Okay.
Don't knock it. I have to stand up for my accounting side. I think though. Wait, what was the question?
What would you focus on outside of the classroom?
Oh yes. Okay.
Out of subjects.
Okay, definitely negotiation. The best course I did, and if you want to work in finance, you'll be negotiating with everybody, whether it be pay, whether it be a deal, better terms, what you want your role to look like. There's always flex.
Yeah.
And coming to the table with good negotiation skills is great. Reading widely. I read a lot on Substack. Howard Marks he runs Oak Tree, and he writes free articles. I love a freebie.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
When you're true. Poor uni students, we love freebies.
Yeah. And he's super very contrarian, and that kind of led me to make my first investment in 2020 during COVID. Everyone was like leaving, like the market was dropping, and I was like, I'm gonna make my first investment now, and that was a Howard Marks kind of mentality. And so reading that for free, like things like Livewire, reading commercially. A lot of people have technical skills in uni. They'll be like HD WAMs. I was not a HD WAM. I was maybe a distinction at the very end. Oh my God. At the beginning I was like a pass or a credit. Actually, I was a credit because I had to keep my scholarship, so I had to be a credit at least. But what saved me and kept me going and got me the internships that I did do and got me into banking, like I did get a banking offer, it was the commercial aspect. Reading so wide, it wasn't funny. And reading 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel was a fantastic book. I love it if you're into startups. But reading people who write credit things, reading people that write blogs or podcasts, and those are really good skills. Actually, one of the best things I also did was working in retail, learning how to sell. You have to be able to sell yourself. My first job was in a fish and chips shop.
Oh, I love that.
I learned patience. I learned how to keep my mouth shut. Like, the customer's always right.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, do never knock those jobs. I started a table tennis club in school.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It was Ping Pong Ong.
Oh!
That was my nickname. Yes. And all of these, like, little experiences that I did that were extracurricular. My director, Joel, calls me the extracurricular queen.
I love it.
Because I love a good committee. I love a good extracurricular. And I have learnt so much from them and the people in those groups. Yeah, and car society was great. Joining uni societies, because you make friends, and also you get to do cool things like podcasting. Like, hello, you guys have a great gig.
Yes, a gig that's been 3 to 4 months. That was 3 to 4 months in the making. There was a lot of process, but we got there in the end, guys. We were so excited. I'm yet to actually post this on my LinkedIn and be like, I have a podcast with you guys.
I'll post on LinkedIn. Apparently I have like 500 plus people as like friends. And I'm like, okay, nice. I've made it.
You have. You've made it when you've got 500 plus friends on LinkedIn. Yeah. You definitely have.
I was probably like adding randos at some point. I was like, you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut them down.
Follow the list. Get rid of you. You are out. Nah. That's totally fair. Funnily enough, actually, speaking about the accounting.
Yes.
Have you done the CFA?
I am doing the CFA, yes. I'm sitting my level 2, and I'm nearly finished my chartered accountants, actually. So I do both the CA and the CFA. They're both post-grad courses.
Yeah. So what's been your experience with that? And well, how would you study? Because I'm doing ethics and finance and we're learning about the CFA right now. I have a quiz next week.
Okay, I won't say anything about being traumatized. Look, it teaches you a lot about balance. Being, like, you work full time and then you have to study at night. It's really, what the CFA teaches you is finance. CFA level 1 is very much foundational finance, probably what you guys already know.
Yeah.
But it teaches you how to get back up and be resilient. Mm-hmm. And it's more actually about, and actually another director of my team is a CFA. And I've found the skill in it is actually just being a disciplined individual and knowing that you can keep going for 6 months and study. But I have learnt a lot, particularly as a generalist. The CFA covers everything, and it's a great degree if that's what you're interested in. And same as the CA, and I've learnt so much externally of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, highly recommend both. And usually work will sponsor that for you if that's what you're interested in.
Oh, okay.
Do a negotiation course and negotiate that as part of your contract.
No, it's totally fair. I feel like negotiations are so important. I think do I have to do that course? I'm Latino. I literally negotiate all the time with my family members, my mom and my dad. It's like, guys, let me go. But no, I promise I'll clean the house when you're away. Just let me go do this. No, but totally understandable with that one. Alright,
so Jaya, how early do you think students particularly should think about success in their careers? Whether that's they're starting out in an internship, still doing their degree, or even searching in general. What should success be in their mind rather than, of course, the end goal of where they want to get to?
Yeah. I mean, success looks different to everybody. I remember when I got my first distinction, and that was success. Because I finally wasn't getting a credit. And so as you hit different milestones, so a lot of people talk about goal setting and what do I want my goal to be and little things. Oh, I'm so not regimented. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm going to post all this stuff on Substack. I go for a week and then I forget and then I stop. And so I'm a little scrappy, I would probably say, with goals and things like that. My success to me in uni always looked like, can I get the marks that I want, which was distinction plus in every course. It was also genuinely am I reading something every night about finance, or am I applying to a job once every week? And so, and you can take goals of other people. I actually spent probably the second year of my degree looking at people who had gotten internship in somewhere that I wanted to be. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to start my networking now. And the success was, oh my God, they actually responded to me and now they want to meet me for coffee. That's really cool. And I got the managing director of Bank of America to meet me and have a coffee with me as an intern. Yeah, it was crazy. And like I knew her analyst at the time, and she was like, oh my gosh, she's always so busy, like she made time for you. And I was like, yeah, people are a lot nicer than you think. And I definitely, comparison is terrible, and particularly in uni and in finance and in accounting where it can be super competitive, definitely. But run your own race. Like, you just compete against, for me it was like, I'm a credit, now I'm a distinction, can I be a high distinction? And always just waking up a better version of you the next day really helped me a lot. And success can be, I got an internship, and this internship sucked, and I had one of those, but actually I know now that I don't want to work in that industry anymore. And so you can always turn something that doesn't look like a success into an actual success story. And now I'm like, okay, there are some things I do in my work now that I'm like, actually I can do that better, and for me that is a successful outcome. So it's all about the mindset and the mentality. Maybe that's what the CFA told me, that, you know, I failed the first time, so I have to reset. And I was like, actually, you know, I got to change my study. I failed, okay, and that could not look like success, but I actually successfully realized that I can, you know, consistently study every night, probably until the end where I choke out. But like, okay, I can do this. It's manageable.
Yes.
I can, you know, it's definitely a mentality. Definitely a mentality thing. And you guys are killing it. Like, podcasting, uni work, like, y'all are success to me.
I mean, yeah, no, that's fair. I think hats off to people who can, like, juggle as much as what you have, and definitely as much as we have. I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I've got 3 jobs, degree, this.
3 jobs? What are your 3 jobs?
I'm a student ambassador for UTS.
Okay.
I work at David Jones in retail.
Okay, love
And I'm
that.
also an usher for an events company, so working at arenas, concerts, and NRL games.
It's incredible.
Yeah, saw Taylor Swift for free.
Yeah. Freebies.
Yeah, ultimate freebie moment for me.
First you got Opal cards for free, apparently, now that you're skimming. And you have free concerts and probably like free clothes. Discount. Is it still 20%?
It's 40%.
Oh,
Sometimes
nice.
40%. Usually the 20, but then if we're lucky we get a 40, and I'm like,
Very
drop that money.
Very, very good. Very good.
Yes. And then even Bella herself has got a new book. Yeah.
Really? Oh my gosh. The youth make me so hopeful. And people say, you know, oh, Gen Z is so entitled. I'm like,
No.
we're all working our ass off here, people. Like,
I disagree so hard with that.
so hard.
Sucker boomers. And I shouldn't say that. No, but I think boomers, yes, it was tough, and I get it. My dad always says, back in my day, when the interest rate was 18%, I'm like, yeah, Dad, great. You had that, but you had a house and you still had kids. I have none of that. I still live with you guys. And we're still working 3 jobs and living at home and still not saving up enough to, like, going on a decent holiday. Like, holidays now is, like, not Europe, it's camping.
Yeah.
And going to the Blue Mountains.
Yeah.
So, it's all very relative in that sense. But I'm not going to have a whole soapbox moment, because I do. It's a constant argument in my household. But another fun question. Actually, now that you mentioned a terrible internship, as we all have interviews and internships, do you have any lessons or horror stories?
Ooh, about internships. Yes, okay, interesting. Actually, surprisingly, no. I haven't had like a bad experience in an internship where I've thought, oh god, like I never want to walk back in this door. Where some people have, and I'm probably inherently very positive. Where I'll just be like, okay, another 3 months to go. Keep the timer on the screen. So no, not really. But I've had internships where I'm like, I don't want to work here, or like there is not enough. There was actually one where I was like, there's no females in the top, and so I don't see myself being here. I did a lot of my internships during COVID, so they were a bit lonely. Yes, but no, I haven't had a bad one. I've had bad interviews. Where I'm like,
Can you say one?
yes, one was for a bank, and I was like, I messed up my example of what I was trying to use because I was so nervous for my first banking interview, and I was like, why did I say that? Like, why am I saying this right now? I could not shut up. And I realized then that just taking your time and a minute to breathe and pause, and it's gonna be fine. Like, they know that you're nervous. I know that I'm nervous. And what I did was from that interview was I took the answers to the questions that they gave me back, and I just used it for a different banking internship. And they were like, any questions at the end? And I was like, oh, I bottled the whole interview. Okay, I'm just gonna like take this as my chance to interview them.
Yeah.
As like a, maybe it was petty, I don't know. And I spent the next like genuinely half an hour just being like, okay, basically asking the same question back, but in reverse.
Yeah.
And they answered it. And then when the next investment banking internship came, which was pretty much the same questions that I got last time, I answered it using their questions. And then I got that one. So I was like, that was kind of a success story. But the interview itself was horrible. I wanted to cry.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Actually, really quickly before we go on to our final question, because I feel like in interviews are really tough. Is it positive to ask questions back to the company, and what should you generally ask? I've always wanted to ask this for someone who's done like tons of internship or interview experience.
Yes, you have to. You will probably unlikely get the job if you don't ask questions. Mm-hmm. There are several questions you can ask, and don't ask like, what does a typical day look like for you? Yep. The more thoughtful, the better. If you know your interviewer, it helps to ask, like, Google them. You can do your LinkedIn stalk on the interviewer, and then you can find out a deal that they've worked on depending on how senior they are. Usually I'll do a bit of a stalk around the organization. So if I know someone there, I'll be like, hey, can I reach out for coffee? I'm meeting this person for an interview. So then obviously that person is going to tell them, oh, I met, Jaya and so. Always ask a question to do with, I always ask one commercial question, something to do with the environment in general, a deal that they've worked on, something about something about the firm is probably second. Like, what does your best, I'm going to go for the analyst role. What does your best analyst look like? Or what is your best associate? How do I get to the next level? How do I be like you? And people love talking about themselves. They love saying like when you gas them off a little, they get so excited. And then another one would just be like, you can also ask for feedback on the interview. Like, oh, how do you think I did? Kind of like, what do you think of my resume? Why did you pick me to come? Particularly if you're kind of at the last step. It's really good feedback to know why people like you. Because I feel like oftentimes we don't really ask that, and I always ask it probably in my KPI reviews. I'm like, what do you still like about me? Like, why am I still here? Maybe it's a confidence thing. I don't know. I'm like I need a bit of like reassurance. But yeah, I always think ask 2 to 3 questions at the end of an interview. Absolutely.
Very handy to know. Isabella, would you like to say our final question?
Sure. So our final question kind of just wraps up everything we've kind of discussed. But what would you tell your younger self? Of course, if you did not see yourself in a finance role today. Yeah. What would you tell younger Jaya now?
Oh my gosh. Coming here, I feel so old. Because like I see all these young people walking around and I'm like, oh, maybe I am like back in my day style like vibe. I would tell myself that everything works itself out so long as you're positive. And so long as you keep the mentality that when someone kicks you or when you kick yourself down and when you feel like you can't figure out a solution to your own problem, that there is always someone that can help you. And I always ask for help. It's my biggest skill. My skill in my team, and it's really important to know this, like what your skill is and what do you bring as a unique person. My skill is that I have like the best network, and like my reputation is that like if anybody knows anybody, it's Jaya. And so I really pride myself on building that network and being who I am and authentic to my investment style, because I know that when I go home every day that I'm like, okay, that was a really hard call. Like I had to say no to that person, but it just doesn't match with our investment policy. It doesn't match with who I am. I'm not going to do that against the better judgment of my client, and I think ultimately network a lot. Do it, even if it's like someone you don't think is relevant, but you like something about them, a skill about them, or something, whether it be public speaking. Like if you see someone like a speaker, I go up to them like, what is your secret to being an amazing speaker? What is your secret to like looking so good? What is it? Yeah. How you exude confidence? Like I always find something that I like about somebody, because there is always somebody better than me. And like, how can I learn off them? Like learning is everywhere. So stay curious, stay cute.
No, and that's great to say for our final question. So thank you so much for listening to us. To all of our listeners out there, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank
Jaya.
you.
We really appreciate it. I think you'll definitely be a role model for a lot of us young people who are still going through uni and still kind of tumbling about through the world of finance and the workforce as we're starting to enter it now.
Thank you. Me too. We'll tumble together. We'll
Yeah.
be like tumbleweeds.
Tumbling weeds in a Texan movie.
Yeah.
There'll be a Mexican standoff somewhere in the background. Yes. Thank you so much. And thank you, listeners, for listening. We hope to hear you and see you back for another episode.